Real life after 85.5. Brutal realities every senior must understand about aging, loneliness, day 82. And still no one has called my name. Day 82. No one knocks, no messages, no phone calls. No one asks, "Hey, how are you feeling today?" And no one seems to notice that I've been silent for 82 days. You think this is just a sad story someone made up? No. This is the quiet truth that millions of people over the age of 85 live with every single day, surrounded by a busy world that no longer includes them. At that age, loneliness is no longer a passing feeling. It becomes part of your heartbeat, your breath, and every meal eaten in silence. It stares back at you from old photo frames where everyone else is already gone, according to the National Poll on Healthy Aging at the University of Michigan. Nearly half of Americans over 85 live alone, and more than 70% of them no longer have a close friend to talk to each week. Research shows that prolonged loneliness increases the risk of heart disease by 29% and stroke by 32%. It's not age that kills the elderly. It's not even illness. It's the kind of silence that numbs you when you no longer feel important to anyone. If you're at that age or nearing it, I hope this video feels like a knock on your door. A simple "how are you" that you haven't heard in weeks. Subscribe to this channel if you want to open your heart and face truths that may hurt, but must be seen. Because sometimes, only by truly understanding loneliness can we survive it, or better yet, heal from it. Truth number 1. Loneliness doesn't always come from living alone. Many people believe loneliness begins when there's no one around. But the truth is far more heartbreaking. You can be surrounded by children, grandchildren, friends, and laughter, and still feel a crushing, breathless kind of loneliness. Loneliness after 85 doesn't always come from 4 empty walls. It comes when every conversation no longer includes you. When your presence is acknowledged, but your soul is no longer seen or heard. You nod. You smile faintly. You stay quiet. And the world assumes you're fine. But deep inside, you know. You're slowly being forgotten, right inside your own family. According to data from AARP, nearly 60% of older adults living with family admit they feel invisible in daily life. They still sit at the dinner table, still watch TV in the same room. But no one asks, "What do you think? Did you enjoy this meal?" Or even something as simple as, "Would you tell us a story from your younger days?" Sometimes the silence inside a full house feels colder than the midnight wind outside the window. Truth number 2. The older you get, the harder it is to make new friends. Here's something no one tells you when you're young. After a certain age, you stop making new friends. Not because you don't need friendship, not because you have nothing to share, but because the friends you once had are slowly disappearing. And the younger generation, they're often too busy to stop and really see you. Think about it. At 30, you had co-workers to talk to. At 50, neighbors to chat with. But by 85, your conversations turn inward to memories. You still hope for someone who understands your stories. Someone who remembers the song you used to love. Someone who can recognize your pain without needing a long explanation. But sadly, the friends who would have understood, they're no longer here. And those who are, don't know who you once were. A study from the Harvard Study of Adult Development, the world's longest research on happiness, revealed that close friendships are a stronger predictor of long-term happiness than income, career, or even lifespan. Yet over 60% of people over 85 no longer have a living best friend to call by name. And do you know what hurts the most? It's when someone you knew passes away on Facebook, and you're not sure if you should click like or just quietly let a tear fall. Old age doesn't just bring wrinkles. It brings a growing list of names that no longer answer when you call. Truth number 3. Loneliness doesn't just break your heart. It can break your body too. We often think of loneliness as just a feeling, a passing sense of sadness. But after age 85, loneliness is no longer light. It quietly breaks you down. Even if you're still eating well and getting enough sleep. According to scientists at the University of California, seniors who experience loneliness have a 64% higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Elevated cortisol, the stress hormone, which raises blood pressure, cholesterol, and stroke risk. A weakened immune system, noticeable in as little as 3 months of emotional isolation. And here's what's even more alarming. Loneliness triggers inflammation in the body, at a level comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Can you imagine? Something that seems just emotional can actually tear down your heart, your brain, and your lifespan. Loneliness doesn't just make older adults sad. It causes weight loss, weakness, insomnia, and falls, leading to hospitalizations. In fact, lonely seniors have a 26% higher risk of early death compared to those with strong social connections. Here's your soft call to action. Placed right at section 4, as you requested. If you're watching this video, I know you're someone who's searching for something warmer, something kinder, in a quiet world. Maybe you just stumbled upon this. But if this part speaks to your heart, leave us a message. And if you want to keep walking this path with us, where each video brings more compassion and clarity, hit that subscribe button. Not for the numbers, but because each new subscriber feels like a quiet embrace for someone who just needs to be seen. Truth number 4. Feeling invisible in your own home. Not every elder is left alone in a nursing home. Not everyone lives in a quiet room, waiting for someone to visit. But ironically, many seniors live surrounded by family, laughter, and noise, yet still feel like a shadow in their own home. Have you ever felt this way? You sit at the dinner table, quietly picking at your food. Everyone else is laughing, debating, sharing stories. No one asks you anything. No one waits for you to speak. You don't want to bother anyone, so you stay silent. Somewhere along the way, you told yourself, I'll just stay quiet. I don't understand what they're talking about anyway. Little by little, no one asks your opinion anymore. No one says, do you like this dish? Are you feeling okay? Want to go outside for a walk? And slowly, you fade out of the small decisions, then the big ones, and eventually out of the picture entirely. In a survey by the National Council on Aging, over 58% of adults over 80 admitted they feel no longer valued in their own home, even while living with their children or grandchildren. You know what's truly sad? Most younger people don't mean to hurt you. They just forget that you're still a part of this story. They think you're fine, that you're strong, that you're used to this. But they don't realize. When no one looks you in the eye anymore, you slowly start to feel like you don't exist. Truth number 5. No one teaches you how to grow old. And that's terrifying. Have you ever noticed? When we're young, every stage of life comes with guidance. At 5, we're taught how to read. At 18, we're advised how to choose a career. At 30, there are thousands of books on parenting and success. But what about at 85? Who teaches you how to live when your loved ones are slowly fading away? Who teaches you how to wake up each morning with nothing to do and no one to talk to? Who teaches you how to accept a body that doesn't listen anymore? While your mind crying for life and connection. No one prepares you for the fact that there will be moments when you feel alone, missing someone who's gone. Some days you'll make a meal just for one and not even feel hungry. You'll sit for hours, waiting for a phone call from your children. Then quietly tell yourself, it's okay, they're busy. A study from the Journal of Gerontology found that 83% of adults over 80 feel emotionally abandoned, even if they still receive physical care. And the scariest part of aging isn't the wrinkles, isn't the slowing down. It's the deep fear that no one ever told you how to keep living meaningfully. When everything familiar begins to fade. But here's the thing. This is where we get to do something different. No one teaches us how to grow old. So, let's learn together. Let's search for the answers, side by side, through videos like this one. Shall we? Warning signs. Are you trapped in chronic loneliness without realizing it? Loneliness doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes it slips quietly into your life through ordinary habits. So subtle, you barely notice. If you're over 85, ask yourself, how long has it been since you called an old friend? When was the last time you laughed, truly laughed, with someone? Have you ever pretended to sleep just to avoid conversation? Here are some silent but critical warning signs. 1. Sleeping excessively during the day, yet still feeling exhausted. 2. Losing interest in things you once loved. Books, knitting, favorite shows. 3. Eating less or losing weight without explanation. 4. Avoiding going outside, or even hesitating to open the door for loved ones. 5. Ignoring phone calls or dodging conversation, even when someone reaches out. 6. Dwelling on the good old days, but feeling sadness instead of comfort. 7. Talking to yourself, not due to memory loss, but because no one's listening. According to the National Institute on Aging, over 40% of Americans age 85 plus who live independently experience at least 4 of these signs every week. And 18% don't realize they're suffering from loneliness-related depression. What does this mean? It means isolation isn't always caused by the outside world. Sometimes it stems from the habit of hiding yourself away. And here's the dangerous part. When loneliness becomes a habit, you stop wanting to break free. You begin to think, it's fine. I've gotten used to being alone. But in truth, you're slowly closing yourself off from the world, one small moment at a time, until all the doors are quietly shut. Why do seniors hesitate to share their feelings? 3. Common reasons they're often misunderstood. Have you ever noticed? When older adults feel sad, they often don't say a word. They don't cry loudly, they don't complain, they just go quiet. They don't talk about their loneliness. They don't express their pain. And the world assumes they're fine. So why does this happen? Reason 1. Fear of being a burden. Many seniors say things like, they're busy. Telling them won't change anything. If I say something, it'll just make them worry more. So they bottle it up. But the more they hide, the wider the emotional gap becomes. And the deeper the loneliness grows. Reason 2. They've grown used to not being heard. They've tried to open up before, but were met with, "Don't worry about it, Mum. You're just overthinking again. Try to rest, Dad. Don't be sad." These words may come from love, but they're not real listening. Over time, seniors learn to swallow their emotions because it hurts less than being brushed off. Reason 3. A lifetime of toughing it out. Earlier generations were taught, the less you say, the stronger you are. Keep your head down and push through. And they've lived that way their entire lives. But after 85, when health declines and relationships shrink, silence becomes less of a strength and more of a wall that isolates them. A US survey of over 2,000 people aged 80 plus found that nearly 70% feel misunderstood emotionally. Almost 50% have cried alone without telling anyone. The sad truth is, society often labels elderly emotions as overly sensitive or too emotional, forgetting that these may be the final cries for connection from a deeply lonely soul. But here's the hopeful part. Sometimes, all it takes is one person truly willing to listen, and the loneliness begins to lift, like morning fog under the sun. If this part touched your heart, we hope you'll stay with us for the next chapters. 5. Simple yet powerful ways to help. Seniors feel seen again. Many people think that easing loneliness in old age requires something big, like moving in with family or having a group of friends to hang out with every day. But the truth is much simpler. Just one small change, one act of kindness each day can make someone at 85 feel seen, valued, and alive. Tip 1. Call them. Even for just 5 minutes. You don't need a long conversation. Just ask, "Did you eat yet, Grandpa? How are you feeling today? Do you miss us, Grandma?" According to a study by AARP, older adults who receive at least 3 calls per week show 39% fewer signs of depression compared to those who don't get any calls. Tip 2. Let them help you ask for their opinion. Let them suggest a recipe. Have them babysit for 15 minutes. When they get to help others, it reignites their sense of purpose and reminds them they still matter. Tip 3. Write to them, even just a note. Did you know? A handwritten letter or even a sticky note that says "Love you, Dad" on the fridge can give an old man the strength to smile for the next month. Tip 4. Look them in the eyes and call them by name. It sounds simple, but try it. "Mum, what do you think?" "Oh, Grandpa, do you like this dish?" "Aunt Mai, you look beautiful today." When you say their name, make eye contact and wait for their response. You're telling them, "I see you, I hear you, I remember you're still here." Tip 5. Offer sincere compliments. You don't have to fake it. Just speak from the heart. "You still have such a sharp memory." "Mum, your wisdom is as strong as ever." "Grandma, you tell stories like when I was a kid." These simple words are like emotional vitamins, healing wounds you may never see. And you know what's truly magical? The more often you do these little things, the more light you'll start to see return to the eyes of the ones you love. 85 is not the end. It's a gentle reminder. Maybe you've thought 85 is the age to prepare for the final chapter. But if you can still wake up each morning, if your heart is still beating, if you can still take a deep breath, then 85 isn't the end. It's a quiet reminder that you are still alive, dads. You might be living alone, but you are not alone. Every moment you choose to watch a video like this is proof that your heart still craves connection. Every story you've ever told, every memory you hold dear, still matters. And maybe what you need most right now isn't someone to move in with you, but the feeling of being heard, being seen, and being remembered. If you're watching this video and saw yourself somewhere in these moments, please leave a comment. It doesn't have to be long. Just one word, "I'm here," is enough to let us know you're still listening and that you are not invisible. And if these messages resonate with you, please consider subscribing to Golden 60 Plus. Not because we need more numbers, but because seniors need more spaces to be understood and loved. Thank you for staying until the end. We'll meet again in the next video with stories that are gentle, profound, and never boring. You're never too old to begin something new. You're only too old if you stop believing you still matter